This is one of those days when the inspiration touches you or hits you and causes you to reflect on what you have been inspired to not just receive, but as I said before, we don't think, yet we are able to observe those things, those streams of thought, inferences, images that prompt us to almost like not instigate or agitate, but motivate or not inspire. There's got to be another word for it, to instill or maybe put more kindling in that fire internally to focus on that mission, on that message, on that purpose, not for life, but for today, for this moment. So sorry for the somewhat sorry preamble, but I wanted to say today or mention today another topic about trust. If you recall a few days ago, I mentioned my change or maybe small evolution into going from trusting at first glance up front 100% and then being taught by my son and Mr. Tamba about trusting no one. So those are two ends of the spectrum that I need to understand or at least appreciate. So since then, I had a chance to further reflect or be open to other suggestions, which leads me to today. About, as I concluded the last presentation on trust, not trusting 100% or trusting no one, starting at trust at 0 as a new metric for me, the new standard for me. Trust at 0. It's not one or the other, like 100% or none. It might sound like trusting at 0 is closer to the trust no one side, but here is the caveat. Here is the tagline. Trust at 0 because every moment, every day is fresh and new. Meaning, as I kind of touched on in that previous episode, we'll call that trust point 1, that is a timeline on that trustometer. We'll call that the Ming trustometer. Every day that gets reset. You probably couldn't do it in every moment, but just consider the possibility that if you were to look at your day in this way, for example, let's take it from the basic, probably common effort and process. You wake up in the morning, you go to the bathroom, take care of your business, you shave, you shower, you shampoo, you pout and preen, whatever you do in the bathroom. You get ready, put some clothes on, you have bathed yourself first, you put some clothes on, you eat or drink something, and then you proceed into the day, whether it's as an athlete or a corporate executive or you're living on the street. Whatever, you have a process for getting into your day. But that day and those moments I just kind of touched on from the time you woke up to time you enter into the day, those are moments. Won't call them events, but those are moments in your day. But those are new, fresh moments in a new, fresh day. Given that foundation background, I'm talking about that as the basis for trust. Now, of course, I can't give you any magical answers or approaches to implementing this perspective. But as I've often said to you, my intention is to change your perspective on this present moment. And I would say go a little further because this present moment that we're talking about right now is very, very important. It's very critical and crucial to you being present, to me being present. There is no more to this moment than this moment. Let me say that again. There is no more to put into this moment than what you have presented in this moment, meaning your awareness, your confidence, your humility, balanced or contrasted with your vanity, meaning your ego and fear that, for example, this moment, because you then added in that extra sauce, it wasn't as good as yesterday, right? Or it may not be as good as tomorrow. Tomorrow's supposed to be sunny and 90. Today's cloudy and rainy and 30. And that's the point I just want to emphasize to you. Not that I'm disparaging if that's how you choose to approach your day, your moments, and your trust. But as I said, all I offer to you is my humble perspective of what I have witnessed, observed, and now choose to communicate as best as I can. Now, if it doesn't strike you as relevant or important enough to implement into your world, that's totally fine. Again, I would love to share whatever pieces of wisdom that I'm able to ascertain and appreciate and then pass on, because I don't own any of this. I am humbled to even still be alive in this day and age. We all have been through our own respective challenges, traumas, and disappointments, successes, ups and downs. As I've said also before, the good, the bad, and the ugly of our existence. And I only say that because it's typically how we would see things happening during the day. Everything can't be, rosy and golden plated and, money falling out of my pocket. Sometimes it's, I hate to use this word, a struggle. But although I did use that term also in part of the evolution or awareness of your evolution, your awareness of the journey. In this case, I'm talking about the journey in resilience, not through resilience. I talk about the struggle. And that was a popular term that people used 5-10 years ago about, the struggle is real. I'm sure for most of us, we can see life as that. Difficult, challenging, upsetting, and not so much rewarding or happy every day. But the biggest thing I want to talk about today, in closing this out, is the trusting at zero. Means that, just that, but also the tagline, trusting at zero. However, seeing each and every moment, and at least each and every day, as new, fresh opportunities to trust. And more importantly, not to trust someone else first, to trust yourself first. Trust at zero for yourself and then with others in each and every new, fresh day and moment. Thank you once again. Stay present. Stay current. No matter where you are in this world, please remember, it is always a 20.